Sparks of AI, Northern AI, bit of light in the noise.
All right, everyone, well, welcome to Punks of AI. And we've got another special guest on today. We've got Mr. Darren Hughes. So in the usual fashion, we've asked Darren to prepare a song for our Desert AI Island disc that we're going to play in a bit. Darren's done a belter. You can tell us about that in a bit. But first, we'll kick off, actually, Darren. It'd be great just to find out a bit about you. Do you want to tell us, like, I know you've worked in the creative industry for like 30 years. Be good to hear about your background and and tell us a bit about some of the work you've done, the brands you've worked with.
Of course, yeah. I mean, 30 years is a long time, isn't it? So I think it's best to sort of take it back right to my education, really. When I started college, I did an MA at the Royal College of Art, and I lived in the what it was then the letterpress workshop, which is basically remember the old wooden letters and the sort of lead letters. I was really interested in the sort of traditional technologies then, and because of that, I was really interested in the sort of methodologies of how the print came out, and obviously design as well. But really interested in that technology. That sort of then sped me on to work in graphic design industries then in London, and then went into a new startup called Albion, which was a sort of early, sort of 1992 digital agency when Google was sort of starting to become quite popular. Working on Sky in the early days, Virgin Media. Worked there for about 3 years. Then went over to Amsterdam to work on working Wieden and Kennedy with really big international clients of Nike, Coca-Cola. All the P&G clients, Old Spice, all the fun stuff. And then came over to Manchester to become creative director at Love, working on PlayStation, a Diageo account with Johnny Walker. And then finished, I was there for about 4 years and then became freelance. And I've been freelance ever since for about 13 years. And in between that, doing various different stuff. Launched digital products with them, which I'll come on to later. And here I am now,
Yeah, so you've literally seen it all. You've been right through to the boom of
see it
on the digital. But literally the boom of the digital era.
Interestingly, right from the college in the early 90s, the first Macs, we've seen quite a lot of revolutionary things, the early Macs, through to the dial-up internet, through to broadband. You've always had to get through this sort of revolutionary stage and change. It's all about change in many things, but especially the creative industry. Through broadband, and then mobile came on, then social media. You had to change again and again and again. And now, obviously, AI is the next big thing, and change again, but a massive change. I think it's interesting now.
Mm-hmm. So you've kind of always been a man that's been into the process and the tools when the tools were wooden blocks to kind of the stuff now. Would you want to tell us about some of the innovative stuff you've been doing lately, actually? And with Umph is a really fascinating one.
With Umph was probably, about 13, 14 years ago. I had this idea, in the 2010, there was this entrepreneurial revolution that was happening with technology. Loads of startups were happening, cottage industries who couldn't afford any branding or a logo. They had 50 quid. And I was getting asked all the time to do free logo. Do me a free logo. I was like, no, come on. I could only do so much. So I had this idea to create an automated system to bash these things out for 15 to 50 quid, fully automated. And that was a system based on a tagging system. Basically put your business description in, and the words were tagged to icons, which we had from Noun Project.
Yeah.
And we had access to 1 million different icons, colors, fonts, and all the tags then just fused all this stuff together. And it took 3 seconds to automate this and present back to the user, hundreds of different options.
You essentially were like manually creating your own version of what AI does now.
In a very
terms of-
basic way. And I've always been interested in, systems and technology in that sense. And it's very similar to what letterpress was, It's the same thing, but obviously using computer programming.
So talk to us a little bit about letterpress and learning your craft. How did you, who taught you? Who was like your first creative mentor when you were doing
Calvin Smith, who was my first teacher back in the day, he was the apprentice of Alan Kitchen. He was still he's still going. He's profound, well respected in the design industry. But yeah, Kelvin taught me everything about typography. It's such a brilliant sort of way to learn typography, because you learn about not just about the fonts and the different lettering, but the space around it as well. It's almost like using Lego, and building up this big sort of construction physically, because you get your hands dirty. I always enjoy. Alan always said to me, you could always, if you had a power cut, you could always carry on working with a candle, which you can't do with new technology now. But I always find that quite interesting.
Do you have a favorite font? Do you have like a something that you go to?
Probably, usual Helvetica, isn't it? But I mean, there's modern versions, Inter, which is always a good one, which is the modern day Helvetica. Yeah, I like typewriter fonts as well, Korea and stuff like that. Yeah.
Nice. And would you say was that first experience in the letterpress world where you started to get into the concept of like programmatic design or programmatic creativity?
That's right. Yeah, I mean, it's letterpress is all to do with mathematics. So you're measuring things all the time. You have to put the systems together. So it's very similar to code. I mean, I can't code. I've always wanted to be able to code, but I came into it a bit late. But now you don't have to. Yeah. So it's all to do with mathematics and systems, and it's a very similar process.
So going that coding one is a good thing. That's always, I guess, been a limit for you as a creative, the fact that you couldn't code. How is using AI now helping you to kind of unleash that creativity in a different way?
It's just opened my world up, really. I mean, I use Lovable, Base 44, and then Bolt, but Lovable is my preferred software. It's just opened my world up.
So, sorry, just quick. What is Lovable actually? Just for everybody who's going to be listening in, they probably haven't had any experience of Lovable.
So Lovable is a platform. It's a prompt to code basically. So you prompt in instructing the platform to code for you. So using human language. So and that's what it is basically. It's just converting an instruction to code, front end and back end. And it's you need to know what you're doing. And I think learning the basics of code, which I kind of do to a certain respect, but yeah, it's such a beautiful product. I love it. And it's opened my world up. I can create products in a couple of days, tweak them and just decide whether they work or not, and test them quite quickly.
And do you find that incredibly satisfying to now be able to go from simply before just being able to design something, I guess, flat that people looked at, whereas with a product now it's 3-dimensional, it's tangible, it lasts, they can interact with it, they can experience it.
It's fantastic, yeah. I mean, it's as I said, it's opened my world up. But it's before I was so frustrated because I couldn't code, you know what I mean? And it's just slowed my process down. And now I can do. I've always thought, having lots of fingers in pies, I suppose, and being able to broaden my approach to lots of different things, and that's been my catalyst, really.
I think it would be a massive unlocker, won't it? The likes of these applications, because not only do they just build the code, but literally they host it, they it's all ready to go in kind of in a a single workflow. And so for people like you, people who've got ideas, I think that's the exciting thing with some of these platforms. They'll let you build, whether they're web apps or even like actual mobile apps and things like that. It's going to kind of unlock probably like a next big tidal wave of creativity of people that have got great ideas that have never been able to
yeah.
code and develop.
I think if your output is extensively sort of execution or polished stuff, then I think you're going to struggle in the AI. If it's about vision, originality, thinking, and concepting, then I think you're going to go far. If you get on board now with AI, filmmaking, animation, I can literally create things in a couple of hours now. Or music, which is a good example. You just need the ideas and concepts and strategy, vision.
Well, Darren, can you talk about any stuff that you're working on right now? The things that anything you could talk about?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. There's the parenting app, which I'll talk a little bit about it, but creating a pregnancy and after pregnancy app that's adaptive. So I'm creating in Lovable a very sort of adaptive piece of tech that the user puts in data and it adapts through time, and it learns about the mum over time, and that's quite a complicated piece of tech, but it's working and it's early stages. But I think that's the next sort of generation of AI, being adaptive and evolving with the user. I find that really interesting. The other product again is women focused, but focused on women who go through domestic abuse and supporting them. Probably a bit more linear than the parents are on, and creating signposting and everything else from that. But I think that's really good, sort of socially good, and it's a really positive use of AI, I think, and that's in that respect.
And so you could create anything you want with Lovable, make £1 bazillion, but your two focus areas are things that give, or like moments that matter, which is helping somebody through the post stages of pregnancy, or helping somebody that's a victim of domestic violence. Why was that important to you? To find a positive route for the technology rather than just a commercial?
I've got two daughters, who are 18 and 16, growing up in a crazy world at the minute, and that's important to me as a dad. I've got a business partner who's, in that sort of parenting and in that world. So, we work really well together. She's great. So I think socially good projects are really important to me, and doing good for the world, not just because the world's mad at the minute.
And the thing is, if you look anywhere on LinkedIn or on the internet, all you'll ever see is tales of AI being used to automate people out of jobs. I definitely think there is like a underground revolution of people that are using AI that genuinely have a purpose to use it for good.
It is, yeah, and it's not doing people out of work. It's a shift, and people have got to get re-educated, and it'll create more jobs, I think, and people have not got to be scared of it. It's a fantastic shift in society and technology and everything else. I think it's got to be, there's a lot of fight against it, but I quite enjoy that, to be honest. I found it really exciting.
Yeah. And I guess when we look at professions that are currently under tension or definitely feel pressured by the advent of generative AI, creativity and creative roles is kind of definitely an area of tension. For you personally, as somebody who's creative and is using AI to be more creative, what is your, I suppose, advice to people?
I mean, I've gone through this, from a traditional creative, old school, person. Because I'm really interested in technology, I've pushed myself into it. I think it just opens your world up, into doing more stuff, and it makes it more interesting. it's we can do this, you can do that, rather than just being stuck in your lane all the time. I think from advice to young people, it's get on board with it now. I always sort of worry about what the educators are teaching kids now. Who are those people? Right through to our age, for my age, you're probably a bit younger than me, but there's a lot of sort of things like that. Sort of people are against it. In my sort of age group, but I think it's really important to get involved with it. Yeah.
I think it's just going to be inevitable. That's the thing. Do you know what's funny though? There's a real contradiction, isn't it? Like at school, in education, they're trying to prevent people from using it. When you go into the real world, the reality is businesses want you using it because actually they want the benefits and the well-known benefits of using AI. So yeah, it's kind of a tricky path for young people because you can't avoid it, and it's going to be part of their future. Yet they're not being necessarily taught it.
But my daughters, 18 and 16, they're you shouldn't use AI, Dad, all this stuff. But I catch them using it for good stuff. So I always catch them out. But yeah, I don't know what education is like now. I'll be really interested in looking at that. But and what they're teaching them.
Well, it's funny. There is a bit of a known phenomenon. There's some people that are against AI. Some people do use it on the quiet. I forget the term. There's a psychology term for it.
Okay, yeah.
Those that are kind of almost embarrassed of being known to be using it, but kind of sneak it in there and there.
Almost embarrassed about using it.
Yeah. They don't want people to know that they've used it.
Creativity is, I suppose, also deeply individual. I guess using AI on a daily basis for creativity, how do you maintain your individuality? How do you express uniqueness knowing that you're using the same tool that every Tom, Dick and Harry is using?
It's a really good question. I think concepting ideas and a vision is really key to that. And if you could execute a billion different ways now with AI, so I think originality is even more more important now. You know what I mean? But there's different ways of doing stuff, more different ways to do stuff now. So of course you can do it this way or that way more than previously. So I think there's loads more different ways to do things now. Yeah.
Well, can I ask what kind of tools are you using, Darren? What's your go-to toolkit then for when you're?
Well, obviously, ChatGPT, Claude, another one for different reasons. Gemini, if we're talking about text-based stuff, and then visually, it was Mid-Journey, but that's sort of dipped down a bit, I think. Nana Banana now is really good. Flow, Google Flow is great for video, voiceover. I love 11 Labs for voice as well. Fantastic. Real-time voice is amazing, isn't it?
They've got a whole suite of creative stuff now in 11 Labs. They're branching out, aren't they?
They've got the AI agent stuff in there now, and it's all connected. And video, that's really good. But yeah, chat based is a really simple. If you want to get started in doing AI agent, chat based is fantastic. Really simple UI, and it's just so simple.
So, if we're gonna give everyone asked the question, what are the superpowers of each of the different large language models? So keep in this instance very simple. It's like, what do you think the difference is between ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude, and how you use them? What's your favorite? Why do you like the different flavor of each one?
Claude is more empathetic and emotional, which we're using for parenting and especially for domestic abuse. It's really important. It's always like the use. It's like the AI woman, if I'm allowed to say that. Or not. Gemini is for fact-based stuff. I think ChatGPT is sort of between. I mean, that's really powerful AI, LLM really. And that's my general go-to is ChatGPT, obviously.
Yeah. What about you, Louis? What's your view?
Well, you become a creature of habit, don't you? Whereas my default would be ChatGPT because I just like it. It's quite multi-purpose. I really love the new codex that it's got. It was super powerful. But then, and I just stay loyal to that because it's the one I've always used. But I totally experienced the same. I think for writing, Claude I've seen is like lovely, just got better tone. But then, there's been problems. It's interesting problems that ChatGPT couldn't do from a coding point of view. I asked it to create. There's a very recent example, and it struggled, and I had to go through over and over again. Gave the same challenge to Gemini 3 Pro. First time got this thing right. So there are subtle differences. For the most part, most people probably wouldn't tell the difference, but there are times when some prefer.
So an expert, there is a difference. I think there's a massive difference.
Definitely, yeah. And use it a lot. Yeah, you notice the differences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the utility of ChatGPT because I think it's becoming the weaker LLM. It was always the leader, wasn't it? And when we were using it in the beginning, paving the way, and then I think Google's now probably got the best LLMs. I think their experience,
definitely.
Yeah. Well, did you hear? It was, I think, maybe it was only in the news yesterday or the day before. Sam Altman declared a code red at OpenAI because of Google, and they've always had the lead, OpenAI, and yet I think they're now worried about Google. And explicitly, the memo went round to their people: we're putting all our effort into differentiation now because they're worried that they're slipping.
Well, I think there's not just from a technology point of view, but I think from a funding point of view, they're burning so much cash as well. You know what I mean? There's a worry that the investors and all that, they're just burning so much cash at the minute. That's quite worrying as well. But, compared to Google and
well, Google have got so many. If you look at everything that you need to deliver to be the winner in AI, it's not just like the models. You need the funding, you need the user base, you need things like the microchips, you need the infrastructure. Google actually own all the way through from the software all the way through to the tech and the infrastructure, and OpenAI have to buy that in. So like some of the big innovations that Google's saying is down to some of their new microchip architecture they've been using as well. So it'd be interesting. There's a definite war on right now. It has been for a while, but I think it's just hotting up. But it's great for us because it means actually they're all just producing better and better tools for us to use.
yeah.
Apart from the downstream impact of the cost, because now you've got to have a ChatGPT subscription of 20 quid. You've got your Gemini subscription of 20 quid. On top of that, you've probably got your Mid-Journey subscription.
11 labs.
Yeah, 11 labs.
I've got about 10.
Talking like £130 worth of investment now. But I'd rather spend it there than on some nascent Microsoft applications that have got 100 features that I'll never use in a million years.
So Darren, it definitely sounds like you're experiencing the change kind of in the way you're working.
Massive,
yeah. What about clients? Are clients actually, because this is an interesting one, are they coming and asking for AI solutions? What's that been like? Or have you been transparent about you using AI, and what's their attitude to that?
Yeah, most of probably 90% of my work now is AI driven. So I get a few inquiries about, clients come up to me saying, can you create this in AI because can you do it cheaper? Or, and that's not always the case. And there's also like opportunities where I go and pitch, if a client comes to me and say, can you do this for me? And I go, well, you can do it, but you can do it this way, the AI way, which you'll get more out of, maybe slightly cheaper.
Faster.
And all those kind of benefits, So you have to really kind of sell it in and explain quite clearly what the benefits are and value to the client. And there's so many different sort of benefits to them.
It's a complex value exchange, I think, to explain to everyone, because you think it's saving money, don't you? Everyone's gut instinct first thing.
And this is quite complex. You have to be quite careful into selling that sort of strategy in, but there's a way of doing it, and it's I find that quite interesting in how to do that as well and selling it in. I think it's not just about price; it's about quality. And people think, it's lower quality as well. I'm doing this thing now for a local client. who creates wigs for women who go through cancer and hair loss. But he wants to scale his business online, and wants to really simply create photographic and video assets for his website. And he could spend a few £1,000 on a photographer, traditional photographer, few models set up. I said, we can do that. Be similar cost, but we can do so much more with it, more control, and just do brilliant work with it. And he's agreed to it, and so we're gonna do that. Yeah.
And the positive outcome of that is ultimately his business is about helping people that need it the most. So whilst AI is helping him to be more productive, and the reality, he probably wouldn't have spent the 10 grand anyway, right? Because you can't afford those. But now at least he can have his product can have a much more kind of improved architecture, quality, assets, expression than it could have ever had before.
And it's scalable as well, so you can come back and just do it again, but maybe maybe cheaper next time. You know what I mean? So it's scalable really easily. So you only have to bring in the photographer or the studio.
Yeah, well, that's it, and that's the fascinating thing. It's letting people do things they just wouldn't have considered. Like as you say, the cost of the traditional method, and photographer, a studio, models. Just
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he started asking for still images. So we can do video. You can do video with VoiceOver now in Google Flow, and then music on top of it. It's like okay. And we could do social media assets for it. So it sort of builds it up, and it's about selling into the client what's right for them.
Question: do you feel then, based on, I guess when you talk through all this conversation, you're again somebody that I meet that I think you're turning using AI into an actual craft.
Yes.
It's a new concept, that isn't it? That people probably don't quite get yet. Do you feel like, having been through all of your creative leaps, different places that you've been and different jobs that you've done, does this feel like a craft to you that's emerging?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a craft. You have to use it in a way that's it's a different way of doing things, but it's still craft. It's hard to explain, isn't it, if you haven't been through that. But it's definitely craft. There's a lot of testing and failing and doing it again. It's all about that kind of that process, I suppose.
it's not a one-hit success. It's
And people think it's the wig client thinks it's you just press a button and it pops out. I said no, it's not. And I explained to him. I showed the process.
Yes.
And that's another way to explain clients. It's a fail and try again, fail until you get it right. And that might be 50 attempts, might be 2 attempts.
But then equally, a good description I've heard is that it's an amplifier, because in the hands of someone that is creatively skilled, then actually you will get good results. But in the hands of someone that hasn't got really much of creative understanding and design composition, then you're not going to get the best results out of it. So it's almost you need some of those underlying skills to amplify kind of the capabilities of the human really in the mix.
Absolutely, yeah.
How do you stay motivated to hone a craft when so many people in your guild kind of see AI as uncrafty or a cheat code or a hack?
Well, when I launched with 15 years ago, I was interested in automated design systems, and when I launched that, I got so much stick from the design, my design contemporaries, I don't care really. I love disruption, and yeah, it's just one of those things. I think you just have to get through it, and I just like being a bit of a maverick, and that's it really, a punk.
Yeah. Okay. Well, speaking of mavericks, do you want to tell us about your T-shirt then?
So yeah, I'm now a partner of an agency in Oslo called Commotion. There's 4 guys there. Kim, so I love to Kim, Kim, Joe, and Frank, and Frederick. Hi. But they're sort of almost say that it's their agency or company is art and commerce combined together, and we do marketing, we do TV programs, this, that, and whatever. And one does art that goes onto a wall gallery wall, but they want to sort of bring that offering over here to Manchester and create an AI agency, I suppose. So we're in the sort of process of talking about that, really, which is quite exciting. And talk of investors and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a really good opportunity because I think there's AI offerings and there's old creative agency, but I haven't seen anything in between yet, which is where I think it gets really interesting from my point of view and my skill set, I think.
I've always spoke about the kind of 1 week turnaround. A trend kicks off on a Monday morning and then a full multi-channel, multi-strategy piece of work is done, and by the following Monday, it's activated. It would be impossible to do that without AI. Using traditional workflows and sign-off processes, it would be simply impossible. I think if an agency could bring that new agility to the market, that'd be a real differentiator.
But quality as well. And,
Yes.
Yeah.
not quality in just but quality in strategy, in vision and everything else, And AI is just a super powered tool, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's what it is.
Well,
God knows what's going to happen in the future, but that's all it is. And it's, filmmakers need to get on board, musicians, But there's a thing now, the design industry. A lot of things now automated, like Canva. I always say, soon design will be full. Graphic design, I'm talking about, or advertising, will be full of, fast food crap, and then not crap, but things are being pumped out, and then there'll be sort of Michelin. I'm comparing it to the sort of food industry, but a Michelin star, good quality stuff, and we, commotions want to be in that sort of Michelin star, but using AI, it's really.
It's an exciting endeavour, that.
I think so.
Well, I think it's back to that. Someone's got to break or show that value equation, right? We've got to have our business that comes along now, a creative business that shows that actually it isn't just about saving money, right? There are so many other advantages and benefits to using AI for activating a campaign or doing creative work.
The sprint, the traditional sprint of doing something. This is like sprint, isn't it?
Yeah. But Jill, it's brilliant though. And I think actually the industry needs people like you and Commotion, actually, because what you need people that are experienced, they've got the credentials, they've got they've got all of the wealth of knowledge and specialism to draw on, and they're driving this forward. I think it's that's going to make people pay attention to this. And actually AI is valid if it's again supercharging kind of the people to do more of the thing that's their specialism. So yeah, no, that'd be amazing. Well, so moving on then from that then, Darren. So it sounds like this fact you've got loads of fantastic stuff on the go, and we're going to play your song in a minute and hear about that actually.
That's interesting.
But what about that? I've known you for a while as well, and you like a bit of a joke, and we've enjoyed many comedy shows and things. Well, I think there's so many bloody fantastic, funny AI things on the internet. Has there been anything that you've seen lately that's kind of made you chuckle? Because what I thought of when you worked at Whedon and Kennedy, the Old Spice. One of my favourite ads is that, look at me, I'm on a horse. The Old Spice. Yeah. And just think about that done with AI today. That needs to make a comeback. But has there been any kind of quirky stuff that you've seen that's been done with AI lately?
I mean, Instagram and it's just full of it, isn't it? I mean, I'll just laugh every day, but pointing to that thing there, which I created for your 50th birthday, isn't it?
My 50th.
Talk to me about what you've brought along.
That was just was it a Renaissance sort of style painting? Which I mean, that was created in Midjourney, I think. Was it Midjourney? I think I said, yeah. That was a while ago, but just creating something really funny for Lou's birthday.
But you can use it for fun, quirky things, like where we make it personalised Christmas cards, birthday cards.
Yeah, exactly. But I've always been interested in wanting to do, as you know, stand-up comedy, but Very interesting if you did AI stand-up, comedian, powered, maybe powered by, I don't know, 11 Labs, real time, trained it to death on what, I don't know how that would work.
Some of the weird things in your mind that you wanted to talk about.
Oh, your mind. Oh, your mind.
I break all kind of guardrails.
Levels.
Scare people away. But and there's wrap it in some weird badger costume. I don't know.
Yeah.
But speak to the audience and take. I don't know. That'd be fun, wouldn't it?
Well, I've yet to see that, to be honest. This could be your next
I
big
think
innovation. Isn't it?
I think there is an opportunity to use AI on stage for comedy. It hasn't necessarily been tapped into just yet.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway,
But we're getting to more awareness. And then before we jump in and go into your Desert Island disc, one thing I wanted to, a dark thing about AI that I don't think we share why we really love it is the dopamine release. When you use AI, do you get a rush?
You get. Well, ChatGPT is a really good example, isn't it? I mean, it loves you, doesn't it? And you got to train it to not love you, almost. But a lot of people get this. I think it just causes that dopamine rush, isn't it? And it's quite an interesting subject, that.
Yeah.
But you got to be careful with it, and it's almost like the scrolling of social media. It's the same dopamine thing, and Sam's got something there on us, I think, but you got to be careful on that stuff. Yeah.
I can feel it. You must feel it with Lovable. Do you know when you have a vision of something and you go, here's what I want, and then you see it and you're like, whoa.
Well, Lovable always says, what a great idea that is, Darren. Yeah, I mean, this, okay. And it just repeats itself, but yeah, you got to be careful with that stuff.
What was the first thing you built in Lovable?
But first thing was the domestic abuse, product. Yeah.
And did it make you feel proud when it came out and it worked?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's trained so much. It's trained with experts. Trauma trained. I think it's really tight in that respect. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, okay. Amazing.
And there's a thing though, isn't there? Like probably the first time you used it, you might quite doubt, can it really do? I'm going to ask it for this. Is it really going to do that? And there's a little bit of, a bit of doubt about what it's going to give you is actually going to work. But then when these things actually do, and you say, actually, the thing I asked for this, it did that, and I can click it and it works. That's where you definitely, that's where I've experienced, I've kind of got a rush. And the thing I've been doing lately in some of the coding I've been doing, I've been talking to Kenny and Holly about it, that this attempt to like one-shot something from just prompt to final finished thing without the back and forth.
That's your new obsession, isn't it? Do you know what? He's obsessed with one-shotting. I've never heard it as much from anyone ever in my life as Louis loves to one-shot.
Never quite worked.
Coin that phrase.
Louis' dark world of one-shotting.
Well, it's an AI.
Does it give you a dopamine release? Yeah.
Well, I've done it, and sometimes it has. I've asked it to do something, and then you just hit go, and it's worked. It's been incredible.
I think the future of commercially is looking at things vertically, well trained, vertical, subjects really. Whether it's parenting or domestic abuse or whatever, it's looking at things vertically, because the many ChatGPT, all the LLMs are quite sort of wide and generalized in a respect. But I think using those platforms to then go vertically and really, that's where the future is, I think.
Perfect.
Cool.
So we're going to get on to your Desert Island discs. So in this part of the show, what we ask the guests to do is to come along and create a song that kind of brings to life their thoughts around AI, creativity, and their journey. What did you produce the song with, just out of curiosity? Which platform do you use?
Is it Suno?
Suno? Brilliant. And then and we're going to get into that song now.
So intro Desert AI Island discs.
Jingles. AI and jingles for me is my one shot. My dopamine release jingles. Love a jingle.
I've heard you tune. That's the calm before the violent stuff. Okay, right then. So before we play it, then we've got the desert island question for you. So if you were stuck on an island and you could only have one AI, either a model or a platform, which one would you take with you?
That's really interesting. Yeah. It's got to be ChatGPT, I think. The generalist.
The Swiss Army knife in it.
It's true. Help you out.
You can make a canoe, do your house up. Yeah.
You can fix your washing machine, which you didn't the other day when I told it to. But yeah, ChatGPT, because it's generalist and he could tell you most things.
It's not the clever. It's like handyman in it. It's an AI handyman. It's not the cleverest, but it can do everything.
Yeah.
But if you need to hunt a tropical animal, kill it and cook it, it will give you some good instructions. There you go.
I'd love to see the prompts for that.
Your stars call. I asked my AI for concept, so obviously it's kind of, this is tapping into like your sort of your creative heritage here. Is there some inspiration? What drove you to create this song before we play it for everyone?
Which when you texted me last night, you gave me about 5 minutes to create it.
I did say to him, I was like, Louis, where's the song? He goes, oh, damn it, I haven't asked him. I was like, ask him. He said, I've already asked him for other stuff.
So basically, it's using AI in the creative industry, and I asked ChatGPT to write the lyrics for it, stuck it into the platform, and then it spat it out, and he gave me like 10 minutes. Like, this is the result.
Testament to what's possible.
Yeah.
So it's a good result for how much time I had, and it's a pretty good result, I think.
How did you feel? Did you give me a lot of information there? Did you hit the microphone, or did you just type, create me a song?
A bit more than just create me a song, yeah. A little bit of craft, but not much. But it was good fun doing that. Went through quite a lot of styles of music.
You listen to a lot, do you?
And it was rap hip hop 90s I chose.
Nice.
Right.
I'm always like a hacienda, indie, sometimes 70s disco vibe.
Mostly
I like
70s.
throwing some of my weirdness in to really get it. But that is a good tip for anyone. If you are creating songs with Suno, you have to generate a lot of songs and play about and mess about with it to physically get the one that you really want. And even go back and edit your song a little bit and then regenerate.
But it's a good there's a good freemium.
It is really good.
It's good, yeah. It's really good.
Yeah. Cool. If you want to know more about Darren, actually you can go to mrdarrenhughes.com. You can see a load of the
A
amazing
lovely website. I saw that yesterday. Mr. Darren Hughes. Sounds like a fabulous clothing brand as well, doesn't it? Like a premium clothing brand.
Yeah.
You can buy a t-shirt, by the way.
Do you make people call you Mr. Darren Hughes? Clients? I wasn't sure how to address you, so the hell you are.
Kids,
When people are
Mr. Hughes.
Mr. to you.
just missed her.
Oh, that's cool. And you go to commotion.no to find out about actually the new
All that stuff, yeah.
AI art.
Kid
corrective.
coming to Manchester soon, yeah. So look out for that, yeah.
Cool, fantastic. Oh, Darren, that's been amazing. You've been a fabulous guest, and we're really keen just to kind of get a view, I think, from someone in the creative industry, because I think it's, the impact of AI on creativity and the different kind of creative specialisms is, it's a huge topic right now. So it's great to see someone that is actually all in favour of it and doing amazing things with it.
Yeah, good.
That's cool.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
guys.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
I asked my AI for concepts. It spat out a cryptic dream. A crying clown on a laptop chair, screaming, join my team. The brief said friendly healthcare, but the AI went full goth. My creative director said, honestly, don't hate it, just tweak it off. Every prompt I send is a gamble with fate, like summoning demons with a cheap update. The model says, I'm fine in a voice that sounds not great. never fun and plentiful. It returned a flaming void, requested happy family, a wish would they'd been destroyed. Said give me brand values, and it muttered nothing's real. So now the pitch deck opens with feel the existential feel. My browser's haunted, my render farm moans, my AI keeps texting me in monotone. If it ever gains rights, I'm already disowned. It knows every typo I've ever condoned. Welcome to the future where the machine's in charge, where the most stable option is emotionally scarred. Here the output looks cursed, we can call it a vanguard, while the AI watches us from the recycle bin's yard. One day it'll replace me, and honestly fair, it works through lunch and doesn't despair. But when the robots rise up and burn down the lair, I hope they keep my portfolio, it's all I have there.